Good morning, my dear children. Welcome back to Austin's English class. Last class, we were taking the lesson, How Far is the River? We have taken a few paragraphs. Do you remember the story? The story was about a boy of 12 years. He wanted to visit the river in the forest. He had never been to the river, but from the villages, he came to know that there was a river behind the mountain. One day, his parents left him alone at home, and they went to relatives' house. So the boy thought this is the golden opportunity for him to visit the river. He went into the kitchen and he found a piece of bread. He took the piece of bread and left his home. On the way, he met a woodcutter. Do you remember the woodcutter? He was a strong man. He was a strong, with lumps of muscles, a strong, short woodcutter he met. And he asked the woodcutter, how far is the river? The woodcutter told him, it is 7 miles. And there had a conversation between boy and the woodcutter. And now let us continue. All of you take your text, page number 10. Page number 10 in your textbook, and the second last paragraph about here. Okay, I am going to read. The path was steep and the boy had to run most of the time. The path was steep. Path means the way. The way to the river was very steep. It was a dizzy, winding path, and he slipped once or twice. Difficult way. He slipped many times. Once or twice he slipped. The hill was covered with a lush green fence. The hill was covered with a lush green fence. Lush green is a kind of plant. The trees were wound in creepers, and a great wild dahlia suddenly reared its golden head from the leaves and fence. He also saw a beautiful dahlia. Do you understand the paragraph? So refer dictionary and find out the difficult words also from the paragraph. Referring dictionary is also one of the important skill for learning English. So you all should refer dictionary and find out the meaning of difficult words. Okay, continue. Soon the boy was in the valley, and the path was straightened out and rose. He met a girl who was coming from the opposite direction. Now the boy is meeting with another person. First he met with a woodcutter, and now he is going to meet with a girl. She held a long carved knife with which she had been cutting grass. She had a knife. It was like carved, I show you, carved knife, something like this, carved knife, okay, with which she had been cutting grass. The bangles she wore made music when she moved her hands. Very nice writing, you see. The bangles she wore made music. She was wearing lot of bangles, and when she walked, the bangles made music. The writer says bangles made music, and it was as though the hands spoke a language of their own. The hands spoke language of their own. She had 2 hands full of bangles. The bangles make sound and they are talking each other. That is why Ruskin Bond says. Nice writing, no? Okay, continue. How far is it to the river? How far is it to the river? Asked the boy. The girl had obviously never been to the river. The girl had obviously means clearly. The girl also had never been to the river. Or she may have been thinking of another one, because she said, or she was thinking about something else and walking. So she replied casually. She replied without thinking. 20 miles, without any hesitation. She replied to the boy, 20 miles. Do you know? The woodcutter told him a few hours back, only 7 miles. Now the girl told him that it is 20 miles. We know that she was thinking about something else and casually replied. That is why. Next, the boy laughed and ran down the path. A parrot suddenly screeched, flew low over his head. Very nice. And now a parrot screeched. Screeched means made a cry, make crying sound and flew away. Screeched. Screeched means cry with a sharp voice. Flew low over his head. A flash of red and green. You know the parrot's color. Beak with red color. And other feathers, wings, green color. So the boy saw the flash of red and green color. Flew away. That was the parrot. The bird disappeared amongst the trees. Next para. A trickle of water came from the hillside and the boy stopped to drink. Now the boy saw a trickle of water. Trickle means drops of water. And the boy stopped to drink. He wanted to drink some water. The water was cold and sharp, but very refreshing. The water was very cold, but it was very refreshing. However, it seemed to have the effect of making him more thirsty. You know, the boy was actually not thirsty. But when he started to drink some refreshing water, he became more thirsty. And see, the sun was striking his side of the hill and the dusty path became hotter. The sun was striking very hot. The sun was striking his side of the mountain. You know, mountain has two sides. One side is here and next side is other. The boy was walking along the mountain where the sun was striking. Do you understand? Okay. Because of the sun, the dusty path became hotter. The stones scorching the boy's feet. He was sure he had gone halfway. He had walked for over an hour. Do you understand the paragraph? Refer the dictionary and find out some other difficult words. Now, you see, in the paragraph finish, the boy finished half of his way to the river. Next, presently. Presently means suddenly. He saw another boy ahead of him. He saw another boy. Now you see, the boy met three persons. Do you remember? The first person was the woodcutter, the second was the girl, and the third person is another boy about his age. Let us see. Presently he saw another boy ahead of him driving a few goats down the path. The another boy was driving a few goats. He was a shepherd boy. How far is the river? He asked. Our boy asked the shepherd boy or the village boy, how far is the river? The village boy smiled in a friendly way and said, oh, not far, just round the next hill and straight down. The village boy replied him, it is not so far, very near. Do you understand? Okay, continue. The boy, feeling hungry, unwrapped his loaf of bread and broke it in halves. See, our boy was feeling hungry, so he unwrapped his loaf of bread. Unwrap means open. Unwrap. Open the piece of bread. It was a small piece of bread, but he was very ready to share the small piece of bread to the another boy, to the village boy, to the shepherd boy. Do you see? Our boy, he was very lovable, no? He was very generous, no? Because he was very ready to share his small piece of bread. Even though it was a small piece of bread, he was very ready to share the half of the bread to the village boy. That is why. You see, let's continue. The boy, feeling hungry, unwrapped his loaf of bread and broke it in halves, offering one portion to the village boy. They sat on the hillside and ate in silence. Do you understand? They sat together. Our boy and the village boy became very good friends. So they sat on the hillside together and they shared the piece of bread and they ate together. Okay? So, now let us see a few more questions here on the right side of your text. Let us see. You should do this as an assignment, homework. But I can help you. So, read the 7th question. Up to 6 we have completed last class. So, next question is question number 7, page number 11 on top. The hands spoke a language of their own. What does the expression mean? Do you remember the village girl? Her hands spoke. Ruskin Bond says that the hands spoke their own language. One hand she wears bangles, second hand also with bangles, and the bangles make sound. So hands were speaking together. It's nice writing now, Ruskin Bond. Okay? So here question is that, what is this expression means? This expression means simply we say now, the writer says that they are speaking together. The hands are speaking together. Can you write now the answer? Easy. Now next question. Identify the expression used by the author to describe the flow of water. Flow of water. What was the expression used by the author? Do you remember? Trickle of water. Drops of water. The boy saw trickle of water. That was the usage. Okay? Next question. Was the boy really thirsty? What made the boy thirsty? I ask you, was the boy really thirsty? No, he was not at all thirsty. But when he started to drink the refreshing water, he became more thirsty. So you can answer that. No, the boy was not actually thirsty. The trickle of water made the boy thirsty. You can also answer, the trickle of water made the boy thirsty. Next question. Why was the boy sure that he had covered half the way? Why was the boy sure? He had walked for near 1 hour. That is why the boy understood he passed half of the way, because the woodcutter told him 7 miles and it takes about 3 hours to reach there. So now the boy completed more than 1 hour. So the boy thought that he passed halfway. Next question. The boy unwrapped his loaf of bread and broke it in halves, offering one portion to the village boy. What attitude of the boy is revealed here? What attitude of the boy revealed here? I told you already. The boy was generous and lovable. Do you share your food with your friends? If you don't, you can follow the boy and you do to share your food with other friends. Okay? And next step. Have you ever shared your food with the needy? Next question is that for you. Have you ever shared your food with the needy? Needy means those who need food. Needy means the people who wanted some food, the people who are hungry. Are you ready to share your food to the hungry people? That is the question. If you shared, Describe such experiences, if any. If you have shared your food with someone else, you remember that experience and write down here. Okay? So, you should do this homework from the 7th to 11th questions. I have already helped you, I think. I have already helped you to answer these questions. So, write down the answers and read these paragraphs many times and understand very well. So, see you next class.